mother of 5E. Oh yeah, I'm driving. My phone holder broke, so I gotta hold you for a second, but I am headed to Arlington, Virginia to my first speaker showcase, my first speaking engagement, and I will be there until Sunday, and you guys are going to go with me. I have brought all my stuff, so I am ready. I'm about to go gas up. Last minute thing I need to grab, and I will see you guys on the road. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous, but I'm excited, and all the support from the people people I know who are genuinely happy for me and are supporting me. Thank you so much. But let me get it in. Sitting here pumping my gas. Look at that. $4 gallons gets me $20. I used to be able to get like almost 10 gallons. I used to be able to fill up with $40. Look at that. I have like I think I have like a 20 gallon. Look at that. $40 almost, and only 7 gallons. That is so ridiculous. I used to be able to fill up on 40. Okay, so it's a basement little like apartment, so I had to click in through the gate. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let me turn you around. Okay, here we go. Oh no, I'm already pulling. Okay, here we go. Oh, all right. Okay, so when you come into the door, you have the little seating area. You got your queen side bed. I got a little place to hang up my stuff and put my stuff. The garage, that's where I'm gonna go and bring my stuff in because my car is right there. The little kitchen, so cute. The one burner. Oh, this is really cute. And he did say that they left me like a soda and some snacks. That was nice. And then you got a little storage area. And then here's the washer and dryer. And if you go in here, here is my bathroom. So nice. I like it. I dig it. All right, let me grab my stuff. Okay, so this is so cute. It's giving so much like if I had my own little apartment, like before I had kids, before I got in a relationship, like that's what this is giving. So I'm gonna so enjoy this little couple of days to myself. Like, adorable. So cute.
Feeling in my bones, I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up.
Stage is Angela Williams. In January 2020, her world came to a pause and her eyes were open to how fast a life can go. In July 2021, her world again was made to stand still and she was forced to face herself. No stranger to building resilience. Let's welcome to the stage Angela Williams on the topic Building Resilience During Life's Challenges.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Dr.
Yes, yes.
It takes a bit to come in.
Thank you, Dr.
Is it
Cheryl.
on? Press up.
Should be on now.
Hello? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Cheryl. Yes, I am Angela Williams, and building resilience, that has been my life. And in according to the Webster's Dictionary, the definition of resilience is the ability to recover or bounce back from, sorry, I messed that up, is the ability to recover from misfortune or life's difficulties. So, I messed that all up. The definition of resilience, according to the Webster's Dictionary, is the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Basically, you have to grow through what you go through. And woo child, having resilience does not erase life's difficulties, nor does it erase stress. Let me tell you that. I had to learn that the hard way by what I've been through. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate your resilience? From one being low, you find it hard to bounce back, or 10 being it's high, it's up there, you bounce back real quick.
10.
Oh, well, for me, where I am, I'm at a 7. And let me tell you, it's taken a while for me to get here, and I had to actually adapt. And that's one of the things I had to do. I had to put in action. So for me, adapt is adapt. I had to adapt to everything unexpected, because of course you have to expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Then I had to make connections. I had to find connections that would support me. I had to get out of being socially isolated, because that's what I did for a long time. I socially isolated. Then I had to trust the Lord, to just trust the process. Like I had to really hone in on be like, okay, if this happens, I'm gonna have to find the positive on whatever happens to me. And then that's where I am stuck at, on how to like bring it in. But for me, the adapt, to expect the unexpected. In January of 2020, I was awakened by my then 19-year-old telling me that my 22-year-old was in a very bad car accident. He rear-ended a tractor trailer. He took the axle off the truck. Like it was horrible. So I had to adapt. I had to sit up in the bed. I had to look at him. I had to tell him, say it again, just so I can get myself clear. One more time, let me hear it. Kai's been in a really bad accident. We need to get to the hospital. Okay, I'm up, I'm moving. I'm getting myself ready. I wasn't even going to put a bra on. I was just going to go. So I had to really just sit there and I had to tell myself, okay, you need to calm down, because you don't know everything. You don't know everything. You don't know what they're going to say, if anything. I'm calling around. The person that was in the car with him is telling us, well, we're at one hospital, he went to another hospital. I'm calling hospitals because I don't know where my child is. So I finally found the hospital, and the lady was like, okay, well, we have somebody that just got here, but he's a John Doe. When you hear John Doe, what do you think about? I watch too many shows. You think about dead body. So I'm panicking, I'm crying. My son, he's looking at me, he's crying. I have a husband. I tried to wake my husband up. And I'm telling him, wake up. Kai's been in an accident. We gotta go. He's not paying me any attention. He's not waking up. Okay, I have to go. I'm gone. Long story short, I had to go to the hospital by myself. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there. 6 o'clock in the morning, this man calls me and mad, where the hell are you? Where am I at? I'm at the hospital. Kai's been in an accident. He's been in a really bad accident. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. I tried to wake you up. You didn't get up. So I had to adapt to him not being there for me more than once. This is not the first time. So adapting to that, expecting the unexpected, the connections that I made from having to go through that really changed my life, because they brought me to the realization that I did not face myself. From having him not wake up, I found that resentment that I had. He did that to me when my mother died. He wasn't there for me then. So the resentment built up. This was the last straw. This is my child. This is our child. You didn't wake up. You didn't come. So the resentment built up. And in June, in April of 2021, I started working out really, really hard, to where I lost a lot of weight, and I found a tumor in my breast. I had to go from April to June until I could see the doctor. And as I'm losing weight, this tumor is growing. And I was looking back at my stories, because I was doing 75 hard. And 75 hard, you have to record yourself every day. And I was looking back at myself, recording myself every day, and I could see the pain in my face because I did not tell anybody. I was telling my family members, I find this, it's growing, I feel it. But nobody was really, I guess they really didn't understand how I was feeling. So come July 15th, I got the diagnosis. He was like, yes, you have breast cancer. I literally gave myself a tumor to see where I was in my life and what I had to let go in order for me to live. I'm recently separated.
We're gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
That was 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So you would literally have 4 minutes
Okay.
to serve the audience. So
I can do that.
so now turn your mic off, because now you're just going to listen and receive. You can stand right there in the middle. So just go ahead. What did you love? What did you enjoy? What did you value? Let's start there. A couple people, please. You can just jump in.
I love the fact that you took the time to get up there. It takes courage to do what you just did, and to be also transparent and vulnerable in front of a room full of people. That's a superpower, and for me, I honor that in you.
Yes.
I love that you even told us earlier that this is your first time. And I suspect this might be your first time sharing that story publicly. And so you're very brave. Most people would never share it, and certainly on a big stage, so because they're not courageous enough, so I honor you with that. So,
Yes.
I love the fact that you were able to do it, because that's a lot. That's a lot. It takes a lot to really be transparent. When you're sharing. So I love that.
I love that, you started off, you allowed yourself to calm, and you
Yes.
allowed yourself to start to feel and get into it. And I can tell you became more comfortable as you went along, so I love that.
I love the fact that you are actually walking, talking your word, which is resilience. So if anybody never knew what that was or really didn't understand it, you're standing in it visually. So with your story, you were able to connect and put something there. So that was really good.
And you defined resilience, so that was good.
You're breaking barriers.
Yes, you are.
You're breaking barriers. You're walking through boundaries that were set for you at one given time, and you're maximizing moments in time right now, and it's helping you. You're helping yourself.
Yes.
As you relay your story and release it, you're being healed from the hurt as you walk through this, and I applaud that.
I also thank you for the pain. I see the pain that you're actually going through, and you haven't gotten through it yet. And you're actually taking us through the actual day, time, and your feelings. It's all over you. Thanks for your transparency.
Amen. Amen to that.
I think Pamela had a comment, and then Kalia.
I felt engaged with you and relatable, even though I may not have personally experienced what you were experiencing. You had a really good connection to the audience, especially over here with me. I could relate to everything you were saying, and I also felt your emotion. You gave your heart, and that's very, very enrolling when you're in a room where everybody in the room is a different human being.
Yes.
And you can relate to each person. That's a very, very powerful gift.
Thank you.
Kalia.
I can definitely relate and engage because I was you a couple of months ago before I got with Dr. Woods, but I do think that you need to hone in on the theme, and I think immediately.
Okay, so wait, we haven't started feedback yet. We want positive first. So are we done with the positive, with what we love? Are we done with that, Dr. Jonas?
I'd just like to add courage, for boldness, what you shared with us. You demonstrated not only resiliency, you demonstrated that you are not going to be sitting out in the crowd. You came up as a second speaker, which says that you had the courage and you're here for business. You're not going to be in this room with all these speakers and gonna sit and see what everybody is doing. You understood that this is your time and this is your turn. Congratulations.
So
Yes.
basically, Dr. Jones said you understood the assignment. Awesome. Okay, now we'll come to Kalia first to go around. So what can she do to make it even better? Now we come here.
I think if you zero in on the theme, because I like the theme, immediately what stood out to me the most was the John Doe, and I was like, you could do something like how John Doe helped me find Jane Doe, or something like that.
Okay, awesome. What else? Pamela, Bernita, Dr. Stephanie, just that whole little group over there. Let's make it quick so we can keep it moving.
All right, so like you obviously had a specific thing on your paper that you wanted to say and it wasn't coming out right. So I acknowledge you for not being stopped and keep going. But let me tell you something that you really need to get. We have no idea what's on that piece of paper. So when you're speaking, if you mess up in your mind, you don't necessarily have to engage us in your mess up. Because we have no expectation over here. So if you mess up, just keep going and know that you've engaged us, so it really doesn't matter what's on that piece of paper. I offer you that because I've been where you're at.
Okay, so some of the things that I myself have problem with, get out of your head. Get out of your head and move with what's on your heart. Okay? And breathe. Breathe, you know, so you don't feel like that you're forcing the information, but you're relaying the information.
I like to see some more pause. To slow down your words, and I heard that you gave a couple of examples of what resilience looks like for you. My suggestion would be to cut away one of those examples and really give us the meat of one that really, like that emergency room and walking through and that message. That's gonna take you some time to work through. So really like take your time on that and give us some time too, as mothers, to know what it may feel like to hear the message that your son was in a bad car accident. Because that's processing and that's traumatic for us as well, to hear that, because we can't even fathom the thought of what that must feel like. So walk us through, slow it all the way down so we can feel it, so we can be in it with you.
And I was gonna say, I know it's tough, like you're not through it yet, so it may bring about those emotions. Don't be afraid to let the audience know, like, hey, you know, I may need y'all a little bit because it's tough for me to talk about. And then as you get through it, because slowing it down, I know sometimes you might rush it because it's like, I just need to get this out. But when you slow it down, don't be afraid for those emotions to hit you, because it may, you know, because you're reliving it. And just let the audience know that. Like, if you're transparent about everything else, be transparent about that and to help you get through.
Thank you.
So your story was so powerful, but I would say, just because I've been there, done it, and did the same thing. When you're telling a story that's close to your heart, there's a method, and there's peaks and valleys to the story, and then every part of your story, you don't have to share all the details. Because a couple of times I was lost. I didn't know if we were talking about your son or your husband or what. So stay in one flow before you switch to another, and decide what is the most important thing you're trying to share with us. Is the most important thing a story about your son or about your husband? Because I got lost a couple times, but I was trying to stay with the story. It was some good stuff, but just remember, when you're telling your story, there's a way to tell an emotional story and still be emotional without being too, so you don't lose it. Because I felt like you were getting ready, right? So I'm telling you, with your son, give us if you had to give it a modified version, right? But give us the juice. But you just said one thing I wanted to ask you, because I wanted to know, when you said I lost a lot of weight, I wanted you to tell me how much weight you lost. Like like a number. It probably was a lot that would benefit somebody in the audience. And you said 75 hard, and I immediately wrote down, what's 75 hard? So just if there's something that people won't know it's like a word or a phrase that people won't understand, if you're going to explain it or take it out. Because I found myself wanting to know what it was.
It's an exercise, not an exercise program. It's a mental toughness, but it incorporates working out 2 times a day for 45
right,
minutes.
You said
like it's a whole list of things.
Right, and that's
so it's so funny because I didn't know what 75 hard was. I wrote that down, but I saw Dr. Shannon on the back in the back like, you.
That's what 75 days is not.
All right, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Yes. Okay, so that means you have to make sure that. I could run this. Hold on, I could run this, Dr. Latoya, and not have y'all give any comments. You do know that, right?
Yes.
I'm qualified. But I do it because because I think it serves a purpose to get more than one person's input. Because sometimes you have a person who is standing there as the leader, and you're like, she just picking on me. Like, she just didn't get it. But if 10 people didn't get it, 5 people didn't get it, it's different than one person saying, I just didn't get it. Or that didn't come across maybe the way that you wanted to. So that's why we do it this way. So we know you ain't Dr. Cheryl. You Dr. Latoya. You're supposed to be Dr. Latoya. So go on with your comments. That's for everybody. All y'all
It was more like a suggestion, what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking, you know, like the story about your son, I was feeling like if that's your story, you know, if that was like the beginning of you stepping into that resilience, you know, bouncing back, maybe to hone in on that story. And then the other one, you give a quick example, you know, like I found myself, you know, bouncing back, or, you know, whatever word you want to use, you know, when I had the lump in my breast. You did say you had breast cancer.
Yes.
Yeah, when you had breast cancer, the stuff with your husband, and there was something else, you know, you can make those as those quick examples of how you bounce back, you know, and like, so your story with your son could have been that turning the page.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations.
Yes,
So when we take the stage, the intention is to let people in the audience know that what they're going through, they're not alone. That's number one. Number two is to let people in the audience know that whatever they're currently struggling through, going through, they can make it through to the other side. This is not the place you come to heal. Sorry to be the one to tell y'all. You don't heal on stage. You might be healing through the process of sharing it, but this is not where you come to heal. This is where you come to empower. You come to restore other people because you're already on the other side of the pain. Don't come up here to heal. Because what's going to happen is now you're a broken person trying to serve broken people. Doesn't work. Pick the thing that you already feel like, I am in a good place. I'm in a good place. I'm in such a good place. I know I can empower, move, motivate, inspire, educate, help someone else. There's stuff that you're not healed from yet. You shouldn't be talking about yet.
That's right.
That is, it is what I don't give nobody tell you. Because I don't want anybody broken teaching me anything. Don't give me takeaways, talking points, bullet points, nothing. So, what part of your story that you feel like you're in a good place? And I know. You know how I know? Because I felt the angry you coming.
Yes.
I don't know what they felt, but I felt angry.
You felt it.
And I got you. We got you, sis. This is my second marriage. So, but that just might not be because then it takes you to a place where we're just
You don't want to be.
Hey, is she all right? You know, I don't know if I want to bring you the tissue or not because you look like you about to bite me. Right? So we can feel the anger rising. I can feel the anger rising. I've been in that place, so I know what it feels like. So, good. You made a decision to take that one off the plate. Now, here's my question. Did your son live?
My son lived.
Okay. That's what I was trying to do. No, you took too long telling me that, girl.
I know.
I was sweating. I was like, wait, was it John though? And I told me how long. 6 minutes? I think it was 6 minutes and 5 seconds, and you still hadn't told me was he dead or not. We gotta get to that.
Yeah, I thought it was that.
So when you bring the husband, okay, good. So we got rid of that process. Yes. Now, when you open, let's go to the opening.
Okay.
You talk about resilience. You said, what do you rate your resilience at from 1 to 10? Girl, if every seat in here is filled, you're gonna have people, 15! Oh, I'm good.
Whether you're saying what I would.
Yes. Okay. So look, here's a lesson. Now I want you to just listen. Okay. You don't have to give me a response back.
Okay.
You don't have to explain. This is for everybody. When we giving you feedback, just receive. You ain't gotta explain it. We get it. It's fine. So when you ask that, you could get 15 different responses. And if you notice, some people on the front row was like, 10, I'm good. Now it makes them feel like they don't need your speech.
Ooh.
I'm already at 10 resilience. I'm good. I can go ahead and check my text messages. But what you need them to understand is that every time you think you have built your resilience muscle and you put the weights down and you don't work the muscle, what happens? the muscle becomes atrophy.
Yes.
If you're a person who goes to the gym and you work your biceps and your triceps consistently, I know I used to be a trainer, I don't know if y'all knew that. If you work your biceps and your triceps consistently, and you skip 3 months of working your biceps and triceps, what happens? The muscles get weak. They become atrophied. Now they ain't doing nothing for you, and you're trying to figure out why is it so hard for me to lift that thing that 3 months ago I could lift so easily.
Absolutely.
So now you make the resilience applicable to every person in the room. Because even when you think you have mastered resilience, here's what I can promise you. Life will throw something your
Yes,
way
baby.
that will test you and knock you down in a way you think you cannot get up, even if you're trying to crawl and get up. So whether you rate yourself as a 2 or a 10, this message is for you today. You see that? I done scooped everybody. Everybody needs to listen. Let's calm down. So don't ask them, right? Or you might say, so I want you to think about this. How do you rate yourself personally? And you don't have to tell me, you don't have to answer. It's in your mind. Give yourself a number. Or you could say, write a number on your piece of paper. If I ask you to rate yourself, your resilience muscle, from a 1 to 10, 1 being I'm horrible at bouncing back, to 10 being I'm pretty darn good, where would you rate yourself? Just write it down. And here's what I can tell you. Just when you think you have reached a 10, life will reach out and gut punch you with something you never saw coming. And you will question, how did I ever rate myself as a 10 in resilience? Because there are some things in life that knock us down, we get back up, we're good. But there are other things in life that knock us down and we have no idea, God, how do I get back up from this?
Yes, sir.
That was my story. That was my story when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. That was my story. Watch me use the stage. That was my story when I went through unexpected divorce. Are you divorced?
No, separated.
That was my story when I went through a separation. But somehow I was able to muster up the strength to get through those things. The physical thing that I thought would knock me out, I got back up from. But the thing I couldn't see to get back up from was that day in 2020 when my oldest son was shaking me while I was in bed. Mom, wake up now, wake up. And in my haziness of still being sleepy, I'm wiping my eyes and I'm looking up and I'm thinking, is this a dream? No, this is my son. What son? What? What's his name?
Kai.
Not Kai.
Oh, newborn.
Newborn, that's his name?
That's his name.
Newborn, what? Why are you waking me up out of my sleep? Mom, Kai was in an accident. I need you to live that out for me. Show me the story. Show me him waking you up. Show me the phone call. Who called you? Who told you what happened? I finally got to the hospital. Show me that, but get to the end result before 6 minutes.
Okay. Before 6 minutes.
Way before 6 minutes.
Okay.
Because you don't want people hanging on the edge of their seat trying to figure out, did he live? Did he die? What happened with the accident? So get to that part. So, and then decide what is the ultimate thing that you want people in the room to walk away with as it relates to resilience. Do you have some talking points or some main ideas? Tell me those really quickly.
The main, it was to adapt to expect the unexpected. That was the story. Then the connections, I made a connection with a life coach, and when I was doing chemo and I had to be bedridden, that is when I went into my journey inward. That's when I started really reliving my past and releasing and come to the realization that I needed to.
Right, but was that inner work, or was that somebody that you were connected with? Or the coach helped you?
She helped me. She gave me a journal, and the self-healing journal that she gave me, helped me to heal from that, and to really.
So adapt, connections, what else?
And trust the process.
And trust the process. Okay, adapt, connect. Just like the connect.
Or avoid social isolation. Because that's what I did.
I just feel I want you to speak to the inner work that you did.
To the inner work. Okay.
I feel like the inner work is huge. Even though the coach might coach you through to help you get started on the inner work, you had to do the work. So there are going to be some people in the room who need to bounce back from something, and they need inner work. They need to do the inner work. Okay. So can you give me some things that you did in the inner work process, in the inner work framework? Number one, Number 2. Number 3. Like, give me 3 things under the inner work. Do the inner work. Because that's the part none of us want to do. Y'all do know that, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing you want to run from.
Yes.
I told Lisa when, from the day I stepped on her campus, I don't want to do no personal development. No, I ain't here for that. That ain't that, no, professional.
Right.
I get down to Tampa, Florida last week. For 6 years, I've been telling her, don't call me for nothing personal development.
You did. You went down.
Last week, I go down under the guise of it is a professional mastermind. We're talking about speaking. That's what you told me this was. It's called When My Soul Speaks. That's what you called it.
That's when
The whole first 2 days we did personal development. I'm crying, snotting, using boxes, tapping into stuff I said I didn't want to tap into. I was like, you wrong. You just wrong. Like, you set me up. But it's so necessary.
Yes, it is.
It's stuff that you are holding on to and you don't even realize it's showing up in your attitude, your behaviors, and all the stuff that other people see. You just can't see it. But no, that's not how I show up. Yes, it is. You just can't see it.
Yes, it is.
You can't see it.
And then develop into
So I think your number 2 could be do the inner work.
Do the inner work.
But then tell me what inner work, how can I start the inner work? Your job as a speaker is to give them something immediately implementable that they can do now before they hire you. So they're gonna hire you at some point. They're gonna come get the book. They're gonna, whatever, right? That's an extension of their reach with you. But what can they do as soon as they leave this conference? At a minimum, they can get a journal book. That's easy. Anybody can go get a journal book and just write. But tell me how to write.
Okay.
So when you write get your journal book, I want you for the next 30 days to, what do you want them to do? Tell me what you want me to do, or I don't know. You just leave me to guess. So when you're on the stage, it's not just about talking about you, it's then giving people something to move on. Oh, she said that the first thing I could do is, because they're gonna get so much information from 20 speakers.
Yes.
So they're gonna be like, well, what's the first thing I do? I don't even know where to start. Give them somewhere to start. Okay. So we're pulling out the part about hubby. We're gonna turn that first thing about how do you rate yourself into a introspective question that they ask themselves and they write it down, or they come up with a number in their own mind. And then you pull it all together by letting them know whether you're a 2 or a 10. This is why this conversation is necessary. This is why we have to have this conversation. Because life will gut punch you over and over again when you least expect it, or just when you got back up from the last gut punch. Then it comes around. You could have never told me that August 2020, my sister would have called and said her son died.
When that happened, I almost.
You could have never told me that was going to be our reality.
Yeah.
My nephew, but that happened to other people, but my 20-year-old nephew, you could have never told me that's what happened. I just got off the phone with my sister yesterday, and she was literally having a moment. And she does. She has moments.
Yes.
And I know that she's fighting through and pushing through. I can only imagine what it would be like for me to carry and birth and take care of and raise a child, and then that child passes before me.
Yes.
That's right.
Like, that's something I never want to experience, that pain. So you need to let people know. Some of you haven't even experienced the thing that's gonna come and knock you down. You're gonna think you can't get back up.
That's right.
So this conversation is prepping you for that thing.
Hello.
See, I need you to already be ready. I need you to already be in the process of working the muscle. Working it so much so that it never goes dry. It never becomes atrophy. So that when the thing comes, that the devil tries to use to take you out of this place, to make you feel like you can't get back up, you are already ready. That's your job. You help people be ready.
Yes.
All right. So you pull in the story about your son. We shorten that a little bit. You can work on that like on the side while other people are coming to speak. You shorten that, and then you give us your 3 powerful takeaways. Then how are you going to close?
I'm going to close with the call of action.
Okay, give us that. I'm going to step to the side real quick.
Okay, so just journeying inward and doing your shadow work. So for the next couple days, I just challenge you to really think about everything that has happened in your life, and if it's a positive or a negative, and are you going to keep with the negative, or are you going to stick with the positive?
Okay, let's change that. So my challenge to every single one of you from this moment forward is to understand that you have the power to make the choice of what you focus on. And it's only one of two choices. It's either I focus on the negative, I focus on the positive. I dare you. You heard me. I dare you to focus on the positive. Don't even give the negative an opportunity to be all up in your space. I dare you. You see that?
Yeah.
That's different than you could focus on the negative or you can focus on the positive and you get to choose. No. Challenge them. Dare them to focus on positive, because this is your closing.
Yes.
So your closing has to be a powerful call to action, but also a challenge to them and almost an affirmation in their mind that yes, they can.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you tell them what to do. You ain't asking them no more. You might have asked them a question in the beginning, not ready to hit this part. Okay, go ahead.
And so let's stay connected. And if you join my resilience community by texting Build Resilience to 22868, and I have cards that I'm handing out that actually has this information on it so that people don't have to, I have to remember Build Resilience 22868. So that's my close. And then I have Be Your Own Mental Health Restorator. I'm Angela Williams, your resilience coach, and I forgot to add that.
Okay, so that's not how I want you to end.
You don't want that.
I don't want you to end with telling them who you are, because we'll pass out your cards.
Okay.
Right? And then the misters of ceremonies will come back and say, we just handed out cards, so you guys, if you text the number that's on that card, you can stay connected with Angela. And we're giving them a sheet that lets them follow you on Instagram. So you don't need to tell them that. Don't waste your 10 minutes on that. So give me something, and you don't have to give it to me this moment, but give me a powerful closing quote, a powerful closing poem, a powerful closing mantra. I need everybody to stand up. Everybody stand up as we wrap this up.
I'll give the ending of the story, how everything turned out for my son.
No, I need to know that earlier.
Okay.
I don't want to know that at the end of the speech.
I mean,
and I didn't listen to you for 9
even though it's him building his own resilience, my son was in a coma for 7 days.
Okay, tell me that at the beginning.
So then I'll just tell him about how he bounced back, his life bounced back. Like he got demoted from his job and now he's got twice promoted.
I don't need to know that.
Don't need to know that.
No, I don't need to know that. That's just extra stuff. Okay. You just put more and more stuff in my head. It's okay. First he was in an accident. Okay, then he was in a coma. And you had breast cancer, and then you had, right? Like we put a lot on people in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So all of us have. If you've been alive more than 37 seconds, you got some pain in your life.
Yes.
Yeah. I could. Y'all don't know half the stuff I've been through because I don't bombard you with it. It has to be a point where I share some, but then I give you the hope of it. Okay. Our job as speakers is hope. We leave people more hopeful. We leave people feeling like, yes, they can. We can make this a reality from a possibility. That's our ultimate job. You got plenty of time to tell them about the rest of your pain. But if you're going to tell them about the resilience of your son, I want to hear that earlier on in the speech. Okay. I want the end to be now, I'm focused on you. This is your job now. This is what I want you to do. This is what I dare you or challenge you to do. Here's how you make resilience a priority in your life. So the first part of the speech is kind of about you, your stuff, your mess, your challenges, your son. That's still all connected to you. You don't want a 10-minute speech of you talking about you. Do y'all get that?
Right.
Yes. It has to turn to them at some point. So my recommendation is at the end, you go out with power. You challenge them, you dare them, you remind them. It could be a mantra, it could be a poem, it could be a quote, something where when you leave that stage, they're like, yes, I can. Because somebody's gonna be in this room for the next 2 days, and they're going through something right now that they think they can't make it through. And they're gonna hear your speech about all the stuff you've been through, and they're gonna believe a little bit more that yes, they can get to the other side of it.
And my mantra was grow through what you go through. That's what I've just been focusing on for like the last year, was grow through what you go through.
And that could be your closing statement. That could be the last thing you say. But give me a closing that's empowering, because you're talking about resilience. Resilience is what? Getting back up.
Okay.
Over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not getting up one time. You thought life only had one thing for you? One challenge, one setback, one roadblock, one obstacle? Oh no, you don't get to get out of this life getting through one thing. And every time you build yourself up and you bounce back from the thing that knocked you down, even with your arms scraped and bandages on your knees from getting back up, guess what? You build character. You build, tell me some of the things that resilience does. Why do I need to get back up? And then, here's the best part. Every time you bounce back, you inspire somebody else to bounce back too.
Yeah.
Now your life is bigger than you.
Yes.
That's power.
That's power.
Because why are we here? Because we're making our lives bigger than us. If we were not making our lives bigger than us, we wouldn't be on stage telling strangers our stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So clearly everybody in here has that desire to make their lives bigger than them. That's why we share our mess, the hard parts of our lives, because we want them to be better. And we want them to know that whatever you're going through, you can make it through.
Yes.
All right? So we'll work on that. Give her a round of applause.